Interior, swimming pool, night. A body floats in the murky depths, arms wide like they're ascending. Numbers ripple across the body like old cine film. The numbers form the grand total of 12,497. Eyes open, panic sets in. Michael, 40s, erupts out of the water and gasps for air. As he flaps to stay afloat, he looks around, confused. There's a woman watching him from the other side of the pool, her features masked by a snorkel and goggles. Laila, 40s, pats a brightly coloured rubber ring nestled around her waist.
Hey, where am I?
The other side.
What? How did I get here?
Great question.
As Laila waddles along the side of the pool, Michael sinks back into the murky gloom. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself sprawled on the side of the pool, hacking up water.
Towel?
As he reaches for the towel, he realizes he's naked and squeals quickly, trying to cover himself.
Where are my clothes?
I was going to ask.
Laila turns her back, unraveling a hairdryer. She tosses the plug into the pool, and as it sinks, the hairdryer starts working. She checks her wrist.
Wow, look at the time. We have to get a wiggle on.
She turns the hairdryer on Michael, and he instinctively slaps it out of her hand like she's holding a snake. The dryer splooshes into the water, the cable swishing after it. Before Laila can respond, Michael turns and makes his escape into the darkness. A second later, he reappears from another direction and shrieks when he sees Laila.
All done?
Michael turns tail and disappears back in the direction he came from, only to find himself back where he started. Only now Laila is fully dressed in a suit.
How come you get clothes?
I thought it was fitting under the circumstances.
Laila's voice echoes as she drifts along the aisle of the church.
Wiggle, wiggle, Michael.
Michael sinks into the pew, mortified at his surroundings. The sound of a choir takes over. Laila saunters up to a row of candles which burst into flame. There's a gasp from a nun perched on the front pew. Laila grins and slides onto the seat next to her.
Well, hello there.
Michael appears barely covering himself with a towel and a hymn book. He is fuming.
When you said the other side, you meant dead? I'm dead? You're fucking kidding me?
Lucky for us, church bells cover Michael's blaspheming. Laila covers the nun's ears.
I can't be dead. How the
Laila pats the nun's hand apologetically.
He's new.
As she rises, Michael backs up, clenching his fists. The nun gasps as the hymn book and towel hit the floor. It takes a moment for Michael to register. As he sinks to grab the towel, Laila snatches the hymn book.
You remember the accident?
What accident? No. I had an accident. Was I hurt? I don't feel so good.
Laila catches Michael in a theatrical embrace. As she studies his features, Michael opens his eyes.
How about a glass of holy cola?
Michael squirms out of Laila's arms and skirts around the altar. Laila scoops up a chalice and pours communion wine. The nun puts out a hand to protest.
Sorry, there's only one cup.
Michael turns and heads for the door, but Laila's already there, sipping from the chalice. She screws up her face and spits the wine into her inside pocket.
I'd let it breathe a little.
Michael looks lost. Laila takes his arm.
Let's start this again, shall we?
Like a bride and groom, they glide down the centre aisle.
I know this comes as something of a shock, but the sooner we get you up to speed with the transition, the better.
Hey!
The nun yelps and nearly drops a candle she's just lit.
Do I look dead to you?
She peers at Michael, then shakes her head.
See?
But before Michael can argue his point, Laila pops up in front of the nun.
Do I?
Laila blows out the nun's candle. The nun faints.
Okay, I got her.
But Laila loses her grip and the nun face plants. Interior, coffee shop, night. Laila strides up to the counter. Michael follows, clambering into jeans and a sweater, his features twisted by a million questions.
I can't be dead. There's nothing wrong with me.
How do you take your coffee?
You've made a mistake. You've got the wrong person. I have family.
Laila sweeps an arm across Michael, allowing a woman with coffee to pass. She breathes in the aroma and purrs.
I'm a husband, a father. What about them? You've made a mistake.
Michael grabs Laila's lapels, leading to a childish hand-slapping contest. She squirms out of his grasp.
There are no mistakes, just millions of imperfect pieces in a perfectly constructed puzzle, nestled at the heart of a miraculous master plan. And for the record, you don't even have a cat.
Michael goes for the Oscar.
No, no, you can't do this. I can't breathe. My heart is... I can't feel my heart. Oh my God.
Michael clutches his chest. Judging by his reaction, there's something under his sweater. He peers down and gasps. What the fuck? There's 3 small clear suckers stuck to his chest.
I had a heart attack.
Bingo.
Laila manoeuvres into a seat behind the woman with the coffee. She leans back to savour the aroma. Just as she's about to topple off her chair, Michael grabs her tie and yanks her towards him.
We were having a moment.
Michael grimaces as he tears off one of the suckers, then slaps it onto Layla's forehead with a loud plop. Her eyes cross as she stares at the sucker. Laila feigns innocence. Something clicks under the table. A sucker explodes from between Layla's legs and splats onto the ceiling above them. She grins sheepishly and slowly reveals a sucker gun. Michael snatches it.
It was just a joke.
Me being dead is a joke.
So you accept you were dead?
I demand to speak to a superior.
Speaking.
Imbecile.
Ah, you speak French.
You are the worst.
What can I get you?
As Michael turns, the barista gasps and raises his hands, and at that moment the ceiling sucker loosens and plonks into the coffee lady's cleavage. Interior, police station, night. Michael and Laila are sitting on opposite ends of a long bench. Michael is glaring at Laila, who's focused on a payphone. She feels the weight of Michael's stare and offers a smile. Michael rattles a handcuff, pinning him to the bench. The payphone rings once, then falls silent.
It is company policy to call the police when witnessing a firearm, and they did see the funny side. Eventually. Besides, what's the worst that could happen?
Michael slumps forward and massages his temple. Laila stands and addresses an imaginary courtroom.
Your Honour, I would like the jury to take into account my client is, and indeed was, at the time of the alleged incident, deceased. Furthermore,
She slides along the bench and tentatively reaches out to put an arm around Michael's shoulder.
he's an angel.
Michael points an accusing finger. Laila slowly retracts her arm.
Under extreme circumstances, we are permitted to administer a hug.
The accusing finger turns into a fist. Laila slides back to her end of the bench. After a moment, an amusing thought makes her giggle. Michael grips the arm of the bench.
Hey, you want to see a miracle?
What's the point?
Might cheer you up.
Michael rattles the handcuffs.
I mean, what is the point of this? What are we doing? If I am truly dead, which, knowing my luck, is not beyond the realm of possibility, then what is this? Hell?
Whoa there, Nelly. Less of the H word, please, if you please. I'm just trying to liven things up a little.
Mother of...
Michael deflates and stares at the ceiling. After a moment, Laila inches closer with a look of sincerity in her eyes.
Look, I'll admit we can be a little full on. But have you any idea how many hoops we have to jump through to get this gig? To be able to spend a whole day down here?
Laila pulls out a notebook and flips through it.
When you guys fritter them away like they're never ending.
She holds out a particular page that shows Michael's name and number.
You've had 12,497 days. Granted, the first 400 were mostly poop and incoherent uling, but that's still 12,000 with little or no appreciation for the staggering odds it took to even blink you into existence.
Michael mulls over the enormity of this.
Let's say, for the sake of shutting your face, I accept this current predicament. How exactly did I...
Hit the bucket?
Yes.
Laila stands and straightens her tie. A breeze ruffles Michael's hair. The handcuffs clink and fall open.
Come take a walk with me.
Exterior riverbank, dawn. A young, trendy couple jog past Laila and Michael, who are perched on a bench. Michael is staring at the clouds. Laila is rifling through a food hamper.
But I was such a strong swimmer.
When it's time, it's time.
Well, how come everyone can see us?
Not everyone. Only those who do not know.
Laila hands a donut to Michael. He sniffs it, then ponders the enormity of what she said.
Milk? Sugar?
Michael nods absently as Laila pours coffee from a flask.
What would you say was your greatest achievement?
Oi!
A really angry-looking fisherman is trying to climb over the railings, having noticed Laila raiding his lunch basket.
I thought you were meant to be an angel.
He doesn't know that.
Michael takes a bite out of the donut, then slaps the coffee out of Laila's hand as they make a run for it. Moments later, they emerge from the other side of an underpass, out of breath. Michael snarls at Laila, but after a moment they both start giggling.
In answer to your question, I've never had a greatest of achievement. I mean, I've loved.
Laughed, cried, travelled each and every highway. But much more than that you did it. Sorry, what were you saying?
Michael stares at the sky like he's addressing God.
I felt the sting of loss.
Laila follows his gaze and nods solemnly.
And now the end is near.
Michael grabs Laila's tie.
Don't shoot the messenger. Final question. What makes you happy?
But something has caught Michael's attention. The two trendy joggers are collapsed on the ground ahead of them. The woman is shaking the guy hysterically.
You did look a bit peaky.
Michael sprints into action. He shoves the woman aside and delivers a frantic dose of CPR to the man. Eventually, the jogger splutters and sits bolt upright with a baffled look. The woman smothers him with tear-stained kisses. Michael staggers to his feet, glowing with pride. A light above him halos his features.
Will he be okay with that?
Oh yeah, he hates joggers.
Interior train station, day. Laila and Michael scan the hurly-burly of rush hour from a lofted vantage point. Laila singles out a lone woman lost in the midst of the swelling crowd. Numbers from the timetable board above her head drip down to form the number 15,951. Michael takes a deep breath as he composes himself.
Wish me luck.
There's no such thing.
Laila holds out her hand and they bump fists. From her vantage point, she watches as Michael approaches the woman. He seems to be bathed in a shimmering light.
A bit over the top.
The light around Michael dips.
Better.
The woman blinks at the now empty station, then gently lays down her suitcase. She focuses on Michael. Woman says, "How did I get here?" Michael offers a freshly made cup of coffee and smiles.
That's a great question.
The end.